Hello. Young Thomas complained and said that I was frightening small children, so we've had a change of suit. And I've got to admit this one is far harder to control. That'll teach him, won't it? Ignatius and the Magnesians, glasses off. What's that? Okay. The introduction. Ignatius, who is also called Theophilus, it's much shorter than the last introduction. Obviously, he was tired after having written to the Ephesians. Basically, welcome, thank you, blah, 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 name of God. First paragraph proper. When I learned how well ordered your love towards God is, I rejoiced and resolved to address you in the faith of Jesus Christ. For inasmuch as I have been judged worthy to bear the most godly name, in these chains which I bear, I sing the praises of the churches. And pretty much the same thing as before. God's wonderful. I'm in chains. It's great. He doesn't actually say I'm going to be devoured by the beasties, but he's happy. He's in chains, and obviously something's not quite right upstairs. Last sentence sums it up. In him we will, if we are patient, if we patiently endure all the abuse of the ruler of this age and escape, reach God. In other words, if we die, we'll go to God. Then we get onto the bit about the bishops. This is beginning to annoy me. So then, where I was permitted to see you in the persons of Damas, your godly bishop, your worthy presbyters at Bassus and Alaponius, and my fellow servant, the deacon Zotion or Zoshan or Zoshan, depending on your pronunciation. I think we'll go over Zoshan. I may enjoy his company because he is subject to the bishop as to the grace of God, and to the presbytery as to the law of Jesus Christ. You've got bishops, presbyters and deacons again. Indeed, it is right for you also not to take advantage of the youthfulness of your bishop. So we know that Damas, is he Damas or Damus? Damas is a young bishop. But give for him all the respect due to him in accordance with the power of God the Father, just as I know that the holy presbyters likewise have not taken advantage of his youthful appearance, but yield to him as one who is wise in God. No matter how old he is, he's a bishop, and his authority comes from being a bishop, not from his age or worldly experience. For the honour, therefore, of him who loved you it is right to be obedient and without hypocrisy, for it is not so much a matter of deceiving this bishop who is seen, but cheating on the one who is unseen. In such a case, he must reckon not with the flesh, but with God, who knows our secrets. Okay. There's a reflection there in the letter to the Ephesians. He said God knows everything, even your darkest secrets. And I said about if this was a pub. The one who is seen is the bishop. You can cheat on your bishop, but by doing so you're also cheating God. The bishop and God the Father seem to be one. And this is a recurring theme with Ignatius. It is right, therefore, that we should start again. It is right, therefore, that we not just be called Christians, but that we actually be Christians. Unlike some who call a man bishop, but to do everything without regard for him, such men do not appear to me to act in good conscience, inasmuch as they do not validly meet together in accordance with the commandment. Now, as you call someone a bishop, you treat them like a bishop. You treat them like a bishop to their face. You treat them like a bishop behind their back. I I have a problem that there's an awful lot of weight being put on bishops here. But this, of course, was 2,000 years ago. And things 2,000 years ago in a completely different land. So we'll see. Seeing then that all things have an end, two things together lie before us, death and life, and everyone will go to his own place. For just as there are two coinages, the one of God and the other of the world, and each of them has its own stamp impressed upon it, so the unbelievers bear the stamp of this world, but the faithful in love bear the stamp of God the Father through Jesus Christ. Those whose life is not in us unless we voluntarily choose to die into his suffering. Unless we voluntarily choose to die into his suffering. So in our deaths we share in the suffering of Christ upon the cross. It's fairly simple. But in faith the faithful bear the stamp of Jesus Christ, bear the stamp of God the Father through Jesus Christ. We come to setting Christianity apart from other cultures and other belief systems, and saying that it is only through Jesus that we can come to God the Father. And that is a theme that is still carried on, perpetuated in the church today. Some actually quite fiercely. And if we're already on to paragraph 6, and we will actually stop at the end of paragraph 6, because there's only 15 in the whole thing. Since, therefore, in the persons I've mentioned above, I have by faith seen and loved the whole congregation, I have this advice. Be eager to do everything in godly harmony with the bishop presiding in the place of God, the presbyters in the place of the council of the apostles, and the deacons, who are most dear to me, having been entrusted with the service of Jesus Christ, who before the ages was with the Father and appeared at the end of time. Let all, therefore, accept the same attitude as God and respect one another, and let no one regard his neighbour in merely human terms, but in Jesus Christ love one another always. Let there be nothing among you which is capable of dividing you, but be united with the bishop and those who lead, as an example and a lesson of incorruptibility. So a true bishop is incorruptible. So if you've got a bishop who's corrupt, not a real bishop, chuck him out. It just goes back a bit. This is actually really very important. Be eager to do everything in godly harmony. With the bishop presiding in the place of God, and the presbyters in the place of the council of the apostles, and the deacons, who are most dear to me, having been entrusted with the service of Jesus Christ. The threefold order of bishops, presbyters and deacons, we call them priest and deacons now, is given here by Ignatius in his letter to the Magnesians. This theme crops up again in the letter to I think it's the letter to the Trallians. We'll find out soon. This is where the order of the Orthodox Church, and that's the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, and of course the Eastern Orthodox churches. It's the foundation of the order of priests, bishops, priests and deacons. And we see that each has an important role. The roles are slightly reversed. The bishop stands as God the Father. The presbyters are the council of the Spirit-filled apostles, and the deacons do the work of Christ. From that, we could argue that the common celebrant... no, we can't. That comes later. We'll not go down that route. Sorry. It's just a little bit of a teaser. We will go down that route later. And we will look at how things are done and how things may have been done differently from how they are today. And just let's see... Can we actually get through all this today? No, let's not, because my head's itching. I hate this hat. Next time we will have a look at, therefore as the Lord did nothing without the Father, either by himself or through the apostles, for he was united with him, so you must not do anything without your bishop and presbyters. So we're going back to unity next time, and we'll see what comes out of that. And ultimately, he sends greetings from other churches as well. This is where it's beginning to get a bit more exciting for me, as I did spend a lot of time studying ministerial authority. Ignatius was a core. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this will be out tonight. If it's not, it's out tomorrow night, so it might be a bit of time travel for when you see it. It might not. There will be another one. I need to think of something a little more light-hearted fairly quickly, possibly not so light-hearted given our current climb. Thank you again. Good night.